Hello, good evening, everybody. And before we begin, Ziggy just wants to say thank you to everyone for the birthday messages. He was 2 this weekend, same day as my dad. He's waving. And he wants to say thank you, everybody, for all the birthday messages that have come in across all of the platforms. Don't you, Ziggy? Yeah?
Does that kiss?
Job done?
He's blowing kisses.
Blowing kisses. Job done. Job done. Right, back to Mummy. Here we go. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we've got some important stories to cover, folks. As usual, Epstein story running like a racehorse. Survivors are going to be speaking out on Wednesday, I believe. There's going to be a big thing. And I'm going to bring Liam in a minute. We've got the call-in facility set up. So if anyone wants to join us, numbers on the screen. It's also in the description box. I'm just going to go over the news first. So let me read to you guys what's going on. We have got Democrats and Republicans join forces to drop Epstein bombshell petition this week. House Democratic lawmaker unveiled his shocking plan to hold an explosive news conference with survivors. Democratic Rep. Ro Khanna is teaming up with Republican Rep. Thomas Massie to host a press conference this Wednesday with almost a dozen survivors. I wonder if any of the people we've interviewed are going to be there. I hope so. Lawmakers and survivors are demanding a full release of all of the DOJ files surrounding Jeffrey. And power to them, because they've had an absolute slap in the face with all of the shenanigans being pulled by the Trump admin, ass kissing Maxwell. It's got to be so insulting for them. NBC News anchor Kristen Welker asked Khanna during an interview if Congress will demand more accountability from the DOJ after returning from recess. I'm very confident it will. I spoke to Congressman Massie, Khanna said. We will have the petition live on September the 2nd. Don't forget, folks, it's a holiday in America tomorrow. We have all 212 Democrats committed to signing it. He has 12 Republicans. Only 6 of them have to sign it. And there was a quote from Maxwell that I'm going to get to in a minute about people in the current admin who were allegedly potentially clients of Jeffrey. Khanna added, what will be explosive is the September 3rd press conference that both of us are having with 10 survivors, many of whom have not spoken out before. They're going to be on the steps of the Capitol. They will be telling their story, and they will be saying clearly to the American public that they want the release of the files for full closure on this matter. Bipartisan calls for more transparency from the DOJ regarding this case increased in the weeks before Congress went on the August break. Speaker Mike Johnson sent the House into an early recess as lawmakers were preparing to vote on a bill that would force the DOJ to release the files. Someone's got to force it, because they ain't doing it themselves. They're just pretending to do it. Regardless, Khanna and Massie believe they have enough bipartisan support to pass the resolution once lawmakers return from recess. On Friday, Johnson stated the House will probably vote on legislation related to the release of more information on Jeffrey. The Speaker, however, did criticize Khanna and Massie's current legislation as not even necessary. It's not even necessary, Johnson said. The process is playing out as it should. We have our own resolutions to do all this, but it's sort of not necessary at the point because the admin is already doing this. They're turning it over. Whatever. Turning it over my ass. Pretending to turn it over, gesturing to turn it over, does not meet the definition of turning it over. It is not quite there. Last week, DOJ released the Deputy Attorney Blanche Maxwell 6 hours of what we believe was a manipulation, a complete manipulation by both sides paving the way for the poster child of human transportation to get released early. She's already in a cushy prison where she shouldn't be. She spoke about Epstein's ties to various political figures, wealthy business executives, and actors. However, she said she never witnessed any inappropriate conduct from Trump. And we had a guy on last night who did not like Trump one bit. And he's been on Trump's case for many, many years. But it gave us much food for thought, Like David Icke told us years ago, folks, to rise to the top of politics, you've got to be a psychopath, a narcissist, a mass manipulator of the public, the media. The good guys in politics are held down because they're not willing to serve the agenda. They're not willing to be compromised. They're not willing to jump on a flight to Jeffrey's Island and get in the mix with girls transported on the pipeline from Jean-Luc Brunel, promised they would have careers as models, and next thing they're getting their passports snatched from them and told, you need to go in that room and do this with that man and give this guy a massage and do the other, or else people get found unalived on the sides of roads, you know. Isn't that what Maria Farmer told us? Ghislaine allegedly said to her when she was complaining, kicking up a fuss. All right, let's have a look a bit more closely at some of the quotes. So, transcripts of the interview, we heard the whole thing, we played it on the channel. And U.S. Attorney Todd Blanche said that the disclosure was in the interest of transparency. Except for the names of victims, every word was included, nothing removed, nothing hidden. And then that same day, James Comer, House Oversight Committee Chair, said the Justice Department said a large tranche of Epstein investigative documents in response to a congressional subpoena. Comer praised justice officials and Donald Trump, saying the Trump DOJ is moving at a pace far faster than anything ever produced by the Biden DOJ. So you got a snail racing against a slug. But the slug has overtaken the snail. An absolute crocker. So Trump continues to face extensive political blowback over the handling of the not releasing of the Epstein files. He has voiced support for transparency. I'm in support of them keeping it open. Innocent people shouldn't be hurt, but I'm in support of keeping it totally open. While those still supporting Trump have touted these actions as a show of openness, many others have pointed to the questions left unasked and the people who have not been asking anything at all, as indicating that these disclosures about Jeffrey were more of a show than a real push for truth. For us, I'm included in that category. The Maxwell transcripts ignore the survivors' voices, were never a sign of openness. They are a sign of a reluctance to pursue any potentially dangerous truth. They are symptomatic of a condescending administration foisting on us absolute garbage, expecting us to swallow it whole, looking the other way, don't chew, don't digest, just crap it out the rear end and forget it ever happened. Well, that ain't happening. We are going to chew. We are going to masticate. We are going to gnaw down to the very essence of what the hell is going on here on this channel. Blanche asked Maxwell whether powerful people around Epstein, including the numerous high-profile and powerful men who had known him, were associating with him for the purpose of carnal encounters, let's say. In her reply, because we listened to 6 hours of it, it made us dizzy. But looking over it more slowly, in her reply, Ghislaine said that some of the, quote, cast of characters, around Jeffrey were, quote, in your cabinet who you value as your co-workers. Let's go over that again. He asked her whether people around Jeffrey, including numerous high-profile and powerful men who had known him, were associating with him for the purpose of beep encounters. So had these high-profile people done these wicked things? And she said some of them were in your cabinet who you value as your co-workers, presently in his cabinet. We've got Rex on the line. We'll let him in a minute. Let me just finish this. Despite the fact that Maxwell had just openly mentioned Epstein associates as being in Trump's current cabinet, Todd, a hardened lawyer not known for missing a trick in trial argument, did not pause to ask Maxwell to identify them. I didn't notice that. Did you notice that, folks? 6 hours. Our heads were spinning. At another point, he asked Maxwell had ever had contact with Mossad, Israel's intelligence agency. Her response, well, not deliberately. And he said, pardon me. And she again said, not deliberately. I do remember this bit. And then he just moved on to a question about whether Jeffrey was receiving money from any intelligence agency. And she also said that her dad was hardly associated. He was just a freelancer. Yet he got his funeral with honors in Israel, didn't he? He could sit down with all of them. Todd indulged Maxwell's repeated professions of spotty recollection, including in response to questions about whether Trump penned a letter for Jeffrey's birthday book. Blanche prefacing a question with the phrase, I understand you don't remember anything with President Trump, or a lot about the book anyway. Do you remember asking President Trump to submit a letter for that? She said, I do not. Do you remember, would you have been the one to do that, or would somebody else have done that? She responded, I did ask some people. I don't remember Mr. Trump. I don't remember who I did ask, but Epstein also asked people himself directly. And then Blanche just said, okay. He didn't pursue the obvious line of thought that Maxwell's response suggested. Had Epstein reached out to Trump? All right, let's get some other people on the screen, shall we? Let's get Liam on the screen. Whoops. Let's get Ben on the screen, who is managing the show. Ben, do we have a caller in or out?
We have Rex, yep.
Hello, Rex. How's it going, my friend?
How's it going, Sean? Nice to be talking to you. How's things?
Things are going good. We just spent 2 days up in the Northwest with my parents, celebrating my dad's birthday and his baby Ziggy's birthday. It was all on the same day, the 29th of August.
Incredible. Yeah, I think 77 your dad and 2 little Ziggy, right?
Indeed, yes. Well, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, no, God bless you. That's awesome.
And are you following developments with the Maxwell Epstein story?
I am indeed, and it's it's unraveling like crazy, but you see, I think David Icke put it the right way. I mean, back to the postage stamp. Once you get to that pinnacle, I mean, you think you're in control, but if you're a megalomaniac, I mean, you're happy with your 4 corners, you know? So it's kind of, it's unraveling. And I mean, if you connect the dots, now I know this is a little bit away from Epstein, but if you look at that house that was sold, the Martha's Vineyard, you know, Michael and Barack Obama, I mean, Michelle, but that house was sold to Les Wexner, wasn't it?
It's just one big incestuous money go around. Wexner, Black, they're all in the mix.
It's like, it's just the swamp itself, red or blue. Like, I mean, my gosh, when we look up to these people, now don't get me wrong, you know, I'm here in Ireland, you're in the UK, but you know, we're all for Trump's for so many, like the freedom of speech, for example. Like, I remember yourself saying that time when, you know, Joe got the second round, that totally would be gone. I mean, unequivocally, you would not be able to say boo on YouTube without being silenced. So there is good and bad, but like this has just shown us we cannot put our trust in man in any direction. And
I know, and hopes were high among a lot of people, including Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Joe Rogan, and we've all seen those hopes smashed. Now, last night's guest that we had on, he was no fan of Trump, and he thinks that the Epstein story is going to burn the entire house down for Trump. Do you concur with last night's guest, or do you think Trump will navigate through this somehow?
I concur to a degree, but jumping back to Professor Hamamoto you had on last week, I mean, if Trump can bite the bullet on this one and come out to the people, now, depending how bad it is, what he did or didn't do, if he can come out and face the music, so to speak, perhaps there'll be a wash, you know, a forgiveness card put out there. I mean, if it's not totally like the other fellas, but it's just so hard to know, Sean. I mean, it's just coming in spades now, and the fact that your one is sent to a holiday camp, Ghislaine Maxwell, this is a joke, you know. This is like poor Virginia, you know, like Maria Farmer, all of these, like, it's just a slap in the face to people who went through this horrific, horrendous, satanic stuff, you know. It's beyond boiling point.
Well, for Trump to come out and, you know, put everything out there, the linchpin is Israel. You know, look at Jeffrey's involvement with Israel, Maxwell's dad. He'd have to expose the honey trap operation. It's complete apparatus. And I just don't think, and I think even Hamamoto said it was wishful thinking that Trump would go that far.
Yeah, well, exactly. I know, but and the fact that she's not going to get a pardon like that. That will just destroy Trump straight out. But the fact he's given her mercy and lenience already, and there's rumors that she's not even in that Texas prison. I think there's rumors that she's even over in Israel. I mean, I don't know if you heard that one.
Yeah, I've heard a variety of rumors about where she might be, that she's been out released on work release and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I think Liam's got some input on this. Liam, have you heard the guest and the previous?
Yeah. So what I thought was, I'll go on.
No, I was just saying, what are your thoughts?
So what I think is quite interesting about how they're handling the Mac is they're not really going after the people that Epstein worked for. But with the quote you read out 5 minutes ago, you said Lawyer Blanche did not press her for which cast of characters that you class as co-workers were close to Epstein. So they're also not going after the people that the girls were trafficked to. So that's the problem. They're not giving us anything either way. So it seems like at some point they're going to have to give something up, aren't they?
You're going to have to throw some red meat to the lions. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Because you either expose the ring or you say who was honey trapped, essentially. Who was there and what they did.
So we know they can't expose the ring. So you're saying a halfway measure would be they have some fall guys.
Yeah, maybe they'll like AI some pictures of Thomas Massey on a plane or something.
What do you think of that, Rex?
I know this is the scary part. We don't know what's truth or fiction anymore. That AI thing has just gone out the window, and especially military grade AI. But yeah, we do, like, it's unraveling where the truth can't stay down for much longer. Like, it has to come up. But will this take down the way the US have, like, their president, like, whatever side? Like, what's going to happen if this all? No, Trump wants to have his legacy. He wants to have his name branded as a you know, the George Washington or whatever, like one of the founding father kind of motifs going on for his legacy or whatever. But this is absurd. I mean, like, going back to 2016, we were just like, you know, everyone was going, like, it was thinking, I mean, future without having the kind of 1984 life. He's the voice of the people. We got him. And globally speaking, because I'm not American, you're not American, but like, and now it's just unraveled to the point of you can't trust anyone. So I'm baffled, really and truly.
Yeah, we can't trust anyone, and you know that includes the leaders of most of the European nations as well. Look at Starmer, the stuff he's doing here. Look at Macron's, the freak show there. You know, it's just this collection, this huge conspiracy just to squeeze every last penny out of the public so that these billionaires can just get wealthier and wealthier.
Exactly. And you said it, and I was only talking to a friend of mine, and you know, this whole cashless thing, and he laughed and he said, well, Ireland's government won't go cashless because there'll be no more brown envelopes. But like, it's every government, it's like the surreptitious nature. If you can get behind the faces, behind the pen pushers, it's that kind of, I don't like saying New World Order because that's just splashed out everywhere, but it's that kind of grasp. I mean, Obama wanted to be, wasn't it the head of the UN or was it the head of NATO or something at one time, and then, you know, there's rumor with Macron, as we know, and it's just like, who is moving the chess pieces? Like, really and truly, who is outside of the postage stamp? You know, who's controlling the whole envelope? That's what we want to get to.
So what's the mood? What's the mood of the people on the street in Ireland right now about what's going on with all our leaders?
Oh, I mean, the trust of the government here has gone down a lot. Well, obviously, with just the climate itself, but you know, it's kind of a, you know, protect the windows of your house before you go fixing your neighbor's windows kind of thing. It's getting back to basics, I think, is the real heart of the people. I mean, we've been lied to so much, and I guess the heart of it, they're not even looking stateside, because trying to get on with the way things are here with prices of everything. But stateside, you know, we need to unravel that, because that's the global stage. That's kind of what happens over there. We're not just going to feel the mist of it. It's going to be a storm. So just truth needs to come out. And, you know, it's going to be messy, but, you know, truth, that's what prevails always, isn't it?
Absolutely. Rex, you've been a great caller. I think we've got some other people pending to come in. But thank you for your input. I hope you join us again on a future show. Oh,
yeah, please. And thanks a million. I've been following you since probably, I'd say 2010, I'd say. So fair play. I remember first seeing you on the Banged Up Abroad show, and I was like, oh, this fella's a legend. So fair play, Shaun.
Oh, thank you, my friend. You take care. Have a great day. Cheers.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
That was Rex. So if anyone else is out there, or if you want to join us on the screen, I've put the StreamYard link in the live chat. And let's go back to Liam then. Liam, I've hogged it for about 20 minutes, going over all the latest news while we wait for someone to call in. What else is going through your mind in this story?
So what stands out to me is, so when Lawyer Blanche didn't arrest Maxwell for the specific names, it seems like she was put up to just do the interview and get minimum information and push nothing. So it was just for PR.
Yeah, it sounds like it was all choreographed before the record button started. And she was just giggly and giddy all the way through it, as if she knew she was going to get rewarded. She was going to get some treats for being a good lapdog for the administration. Yeah. And that's exactly how it came across. She was flexing her lexicon, trying to dazzle them with her posh words, as Hamamoto picked up on. Oxford University versus whatever it was in America that Blanche went to.
No links
And
to intelligence, apparently, that she knew of.
so Maria says it was sickening to listen to, especially for the survivors. Absolutely. Lisa says, I feel like the interview was almost being led. It was not natural for sure. Ziva says it was total BS. And Shell, we won't ever know the full story. Too many important people involved. You've nailed it there, because it's a huge part of the donor class, which these politicians live off. That's like their feeding trough. They would be destroying their own feeding trough if they ever went full on with releasing who Epstein's customers were or whoever was honey trapped. And they're not going to do that. They're not going to bite the hands that feed them. And then you've got the intelligence agencies' involvement. And what are the intelligence agencies? They are basically just the enforcement arms for the wealthiest, most powerful people in the world.
The military-industrial complex.
Military-industrial complex, Big Pharma, prison-industrial complex, which is an offshoot of the military-industrial complex.
Human trafficking.
Lisa says Ghislaine had convenient amnesia during the interview too. She did, and even when she was corrected, because he said like something more current had been in the news, and she'd previously given an answer that contradicted what was more currently in the news. When she was corrected, she just then